Life is simpler than you think. I think a lot of us overcomplicate things, and there are a handful of things that you do every single day that are limiting your potential, that are stopping you from becoming the version of yourself that you always want to be, deep within yourself. I'm going to be talking about those four things, those four big things, starting with number one being waking up late, staying up late, and the first thing you do in the morning is go to your job that you don't like. How many of us do that? How many of us wake up in the morning, even 10 minutes late, we barely have time to get ready. By the time we are ready, we're headed directly to work. We're in our car going straight to the 9 to 5 job that we despise. Now, if some of you don't despise that job, that's great. But not giving yourself that time in the morning to sit with yourself, to have a slow moment with yourself. I think if there's any time to meditate, it's first thing in the morning. I think if there's a great time to actually work out, I think it's first thing in the morning. I think that time in the morning is crucial for the rest of your day and for your routine. Your routine is there whether you have one written down or not. Your routine is what you do every day, routinely. It's your subconscious, it's the habits you have built, whether on purpose or not. And the way you start the morning quite literally dictates the rest of your day. Show me the first hour of someone's day, and I'll show you the next 15. Okay? So in the morning, if you are waking up and the first thing you do is stress to work, you're spiking your cortisol, you probably sleep deprived from the night before, staying up late, doing whatever it is, you're damaging your whole day. And you're borrowing today's time, you're using today's time for tomorrow. You're borrowing tomorrow's time for today. You're just stealing yourself of real productivity. You're borrowing time. And if in the morning you don't give yourself that time, you don't make that time by going to bed early, waking up early, and deciding, I'm gonna have that first hour of my day. Whether it's you meditate, whether you work out, whether you just sit down outside and have a coffee and relax, whatever it is that gets you going and gets you started, do that. But do not stress to work. Do not have the first thing that you do in the morning be a job that you don't like or something that you don't like. You have to give yourself that time in the morning to set up the rest of your day. That routine in the morning affects the rest of your day. So that's number one. Number two, any sort of physical stimulant, dopamine spikes. If you don't know what that means, any sort of sugar, carb, physical masturbation, overeating, overindulging, anything that you do that spikes your brain and overstimulates your mind is quite literally teaching yourself. What you're doing is you're teaching yourself that short-term reward is more important than long-term reward. Okay? You're having instant gratification throughout the day and not teaching yourself, not living for your life. You're living for the moment. And a lot of people think, oh, living for the moment is great. All you have is the present. I agree 100%. I don't think living in the present is robbing yourself of tomorrow. I don't think living in the present is sabotaging your future self. I think living in the present should be a sacrifice. And I know that sounds ridiculous to some people, but living your days, your moments as sacrifices, that's how you wake up the next day and you go, I'm doing this for me, for my family, for the people around me, for my community. That's how you become someone who is resilient. Someone who can take more, someone who can envision something and bring it to reality. Not by living for today, not by living for tomorrow, but doing what's best for yourself in general. And that is sacrificing the moment. The small moments where it's cheap, quick dopamine. Sugar quite literally kills you. If not used the right way, it quite literally kills you. Slowly, but surely. Any sort of stimulant that's spiking your brain and making you think you're safe is keeping you comfortable and keeping your future self weak. Think about that next time you're gonna indulge in the present moment, not live it. Number 3 on the list. Using drugs, alcohol, nicotine, cigarettes, any sort of drug of choice for spiritual growth. This is very common for my age. This is very common for my generation. Using ecstasy, alcohol, weed, all these different types of drugs, higher end drugs, LSD, psychedelics, cocaine, ketamine, you can name so many that people use these days, younger teen people, friends of mine use for what? To have fun? Yes, that's on the outside. Internally, they are looking for spiritual growth. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I haven't drank. I'm not gonna sit here, I haven't enjoyed myself or taken things for the subconscious want to grow spiritually. I understand. I'm speaking from experience. But if I could talk to my younger self, and if I had someone in front of me, and I could tell them the things that I wish I heard, I would say, stay away. Stay away. Everyone tells you stay away for the wrong reasons. They say, oh, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna kill yourself, it's not good. But they don't teach you why. They tell you how, they tell you what's gonna happen, and people just explain to you without letting you know, without teaching you how and why. They just sit there and they scare you. They try to scare you, that's all they do. I'm not here to scare you, I'm here to tell you from experience and from seeing other people. Because you don't need to learn from experience. You don't need to be like me or like 10 other people or whoever you know to learn, okay? You can learn from other people's mistakes. Be smarter than what you are now, than what you feel now, than what you want to do now. Your spiritual growth can happen sober. It can happen with other modes of transportation, because that's all these drugs are. They're modes of transportation to a spiritual realm that you think you're gonna get there through just taking it once. And then what happens? You take it again, you take it again, you take it again, and then it becomes a habit. And before you know it, you're addicted. And the one thing I can say is these people, right, friends of mine, and including myself at one point, you become addicted, and the next thing you know, you're saying, I'm trying to cut down. I'm trying to cut down. That's how you know from the beginning you shouldn't have touched it. Because how many people do you know that just drink once, that just enjoy themselves once, and let go of it? Of course not. These are designed to be addictive. Be self-aware and do not search for spiritual internal growth through drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. It is not the gateway. It is not the answer. It's just like we said before. You're sacrificing the moment. You're not sacrificing the moment for tomorrow. You're sacrificing your future for today. And you're damaging yourself, quite literally, internally and externally. And even more than physically, I would be afraid of what it does to your spirit, to your soul. You teach yourself that spiritual growth is at the end of some line, or at the end of some bottle, or at the end of some cigarette. And I'm not judging, because that's not the answer. That's what you've heard all your life. I'm only saying there are other ways. Those other ways are reading, meditating, things that are boring, things that you don't want to hear about, things that you think you can't do. Put down the drugs. Let go of this and search for spiritual meaning and growth internally. Everything that you can get from a bottle to a drug, I am telling you, it sounds crazy, but you can do by yourself without it. The fourth and last thing, there's a term going on these days called goy slop. I use it as a joke, but it's quite funny. And one of the number one goy slop habits is watching sports. I know this might sound like, Zack, what are you talking about? Like, I love watching UFC. Zack, what are you talking about? You love watching boxing. You love watching UFC. If there's the World Cup going on, yeah, we all enjoy it. Some of us more than others. I cannot sit there for hours on end watching people live out the type of life that I want to live. And I know that sounds selfish or narcissistic to some people. What I think it is really watch yourself. Go from a third perspective and look at what you're doing. You are watching a screen, staring at it for an hour straight like this, entertained by the life that you don't live. I think the only time, or the best case scenario to watch sports, because not the only time, right? But the best case to watch sports is for educational purposes. I watch UFC all the time. I watch boxing all the time. I watch sports that I don't even really enjoy all the time. Because I'm trying to learn something. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to see what is this athlete doing and how can I learn from it. I don't like basketball, but I'm gonna watch a Michael Jordan game. Because seeing how he plays teaches me about business, teaches me about life. That's why I watch sports. If you're watching it just to entertain yourself, and if you're watching sports, UFC is a perfect example. Boxing is a perfect example. I don't know how many friends of mine know every single fighter that you can mention, know every single fight that they've had. They know so much. But the minute that they get in that ring, the minute that they go to training, the minute you say, how many workouts have you done this year? There's a pause. Do not entertain yourself with the type of life you want. Live the life that you want. And do not entertain, educate yourself. Use these sports as a form of education. If you're gambling on these sports, what are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? In my opinion, I watch sports, and I believe most men especially should watch sports to come back to their life, to envision themselves in the athlete's shoes, and then go out there in the real world and do it. Where's the generation of men that went outside to play football? Now everyone's inside just watching it. I'm okay if you watch. It's okay if you watch. But you better go out there and play. Because if you're in there just watching, you're living your life as a spectator. That's not how I want to live my life. I want to go out there and play. And if I'm going to watch to learn, then best know I'm going to use that to play. These are the 4 things keeping you from becoming the best version of yourself, and they're quite literally ruining your life. They're simple, cut them out, and start taking care of yourselves. Not just for yourself, but for the people around you.